reason in life to be who you need to be. Don't look other people, just be happy with who you are. Don't follow the crowd of the masses, be yourself and you'll be okay. Don't look other people, just be happy with who you are. Don't follow the crowd of the masses, be yourself and you'll be okay. Just be happy with who you are. Just be happy with who you are. Just be happy with who you are. Just be happy with who you are.
Is this on? Alright then. Hello, my fellow anti-fascists. Oh ye hashtag resistors. By standing here today, we have created a momentous occasion. We have set a new precedent. By standing together, we are standing up for the marginalized, the oppressed, and the voiceless. By standing together, here and now, we are about to make history.
That last word is sexist.
Herstory.
Still supports the gender binary.
Zerstory.
I don't know, comrades. It still doesn't feel inclusive enough.
Epic, legendary sagas that will enthrall many generations to come.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it makes me feel noble.
Like a comic book hero, yeah.
Comic books are sexist.
Oh, it's all so exhausting sometimes. Ugh. For the past several years, we have fought valiantly against their Nazi system, and through our tireless persistence, we have made rainbow-colored strides, reined in the pale beast, and threw not a wrench, but a hammer and sickle into the gears of their capitalist war machine. Through changes in our curriculum, our teaching practices, and our enrollment policies, we have successfully reduced the number of straight white male students here into the smallest demographic. Hooray! Even smaller than the Navajo amputee fur fag community, making our campus the most progressive here within the belly of the great Satan himself, the USA. Adon Akbar! However, we have reached a roadblock in our path to intersectional salvation. How can we generally hold our collective heads up high as the least sexist, the least racist, the least bigoted university in America when a white male still represents us?
Sylvester Joseph Double? Sylvester Joseph Double was a philanthropist and an enlightened scholar who revolutionized agricultural techniques that had increased food production in many arid parts of Africa and South America, which are even practiced today. Double also willed his estate and 90% of his wealth to the building of this university, which has provided an education to nearly 500,000 students of color since its establishment. But if this wasn't enough charity for you ingrates and ignoramuses, the Double family continues to donate $1 million annually, including scholarship programs that have granted a free education to poor students with high potential, many of whom have been, again, students of color. Why on earth are you dishonoring such a great man who has contributed so much to the betterment of your education? And with his descendants continuing to regularly fund this school, why are you disrespecting the Double family's most esteemed forefather? Why do so many of you stupidly think that biting the hand that feeds is a noble act of progress? Why do so many of you arrogant retards fancy yourselves such evolved intellectuals when none of you obviously haven't even mastered the discipline of not shitting where you eat?
This great man, as you referred to him, contributed to America's institution of black slavery.
Oh, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Well, if you had bothered to read any of his academic work, as a tenured professor making over $100,000 per year, you'd have known that he often condemned slavery as anathema to the principles of both humanism and Christendom.
His great uncle owned slaves.
Oh, the one he never met.
So?
So for the sake of destroying every white male icon of American exceptionalism, we've moved beyond the sins of the father to the sins of some distant relative?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
A relative through marriage?
And?
Second marriage, in fact.
So anyways, in a symbolic gesture of social justice and inclusivity, and as a self-appointed speaker for all students of color here, except for that Uncle Tom in the MAGA hat over there, fuck that jigaboo, I demand that our university be renamed after a more contemporary champion of anti-racism and democratic socialism, Ambulali Wabantu. Minus all the clicks and clacks that I can't pronounce, I apologize.
Wait, hold on here. Who?
Ambulali Wabantu.
Who the hell is he?
Well, he's our contemporary champion of anti-racism and
Yeah, I heard you the first time. What did he do?
Well, he contemporarily championed the causes of anti-racism.
I mean specifically. How did this man benefit our lives, specifically here, on this campus?
As if you needed any more benefits, Mr. Far Right. Now, with the new naming of our school, should follow a new order. I will appoint myself as the university's first premier.
Okay, this is rather suspicious. Time for a little research.
My first executive order would be to provide all students of color the appropriate amount of grading points to achieve a 4.0 average, by subtracting an equal amount from the total aggregate of grades earned by the white student body, as part of our newly adopted reparations program. For the greater good!
The greater good!
Query, who is Ambulali Wabantu?
Ambulali Wabantu was a Soviet-backed, Marxist revolutionary warlord who, in 1960, overthrew the democratically elected president of Hakuna Matata Ungabunga, a tiny landlocked African nation situated between the Congo and Tanzania. After Wabantu had ceremoniously eaten the deposed president's heart, in order to absorb his spirit for immortality purposes, he declared himself dictator for life, then pressed all adult male villagers into servitude within his newly acquired gold mines, forced all of the adult female villagers into cultivating opium crops on all government-seized farmlands, conscripted every young boy into his personal, Janissary-style army, trained to murder any family member speaking critically of Wabantu's governance, and enslaved all young girls for his personal concubinage.
Not only this, but Wabantu had every local white farmer murdered during his land reform campaign called Make the White Man Our Nigger. And because Wabantu had every acre of fertile land converted for heroin production, every single citizen of Hakuna Matata Mayungabunga starved to death. Save for the hundreds of thousands that were previously executed during his political purging, that is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, shocking, isn't it?
I can't believe this.
As horrifying as it sounds, it's all true.
Did you actually say the N-word?
Wait, what?
Racist! My ears! They bleed oppression! Fuck you, Nazi! Fuck you!
Oh, you can't be fucking serious.
The more I've sat here and listened to the fact that somebody used the N-word on this show, it is not okay.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We live in a time when a black supremacist leader like Louis Farrakhan, who shares the same exact racial separatist goals as the KKK, is held in the highest regard by Democratic Party leaders. A time when blacks are allowed their own scholarship funds, their own colleges, their own entertainment channels and magazines, their own special interest lobbying groups, even to openly demand for racially pure nation states, both in Africa and America, all within a majority white nation, and all without political or social consequence. A time when a black person is 25 times more likely to assault a white person in America, a majority white nation, but racial motivation is systemically applied to mostly white perpetrators. A time when America has suffered over a dozen large-scale urban riots in the last 5 years, where hundreds of whites were literally targeted by violent black mobs, though this information was mostly suppressed by most legacy media outfits, all because violent black criminals had suffered just consequences for initiating altercations with police officers during routine stops and arrests, indicating that many blacks will always defend their race regardless of character and context. A time when schools all across the country have revised their history lessons so that supposedly only white people have ever engaged in slavery or genocide, while atrocities and oppression committed by non-white societies must be viewed through rose-colored, culturally relative lenses. A time when black African nations are violently purging their white citizens and seizing their assets, and openly cheered on through social media by those who simultaneously shame those white European nations who want to, at the very least, screen the millions of black immigrants illegally pouring over their borders for any criminals or terrorists. A time when "fuck white people" is the most celebrated slogan throughout Hollywood, while "it's okay to be white" is the most vilified. A time when it's been revealed that thousands upon thousands of young white British girls, as young as 11, were targeted by Pakistani grooming gangs for decades and systematically gang raped and tortured, all because they were white and non-Muslim, as was admitted to by the rapists themselves. But the British government decided to crack down harder on those white British citizens who openly expressed their anger and resentment throughout social media because supposedly the latter was more racist than the former. A time when Twitter and Facebook will allow you to openly express your desire for a future where white people are demographically replaced worldwide through limitless immigration and welfare initiatives, while certain white people are banned, if not outright doxxed and fired from their jobs for expressing their fear of being eventually replaced. A time when it's not racist to blame all white people for your problems, but it's racist for white people to point out how it's your own poor decisions that are the root cause, but that you have your own agency to change and solve these dilemmas and to flourish as free, self-determined people. And in spite of all this, you're trying to tell me that the greatest cause to our ever-widening racial divide in the Western world today is some 12-year-old white boy edgelord typing "nigger" somewhere in the comment section. And because of this, we must all now say fuck you to the First Amendment, a free and open internet, and the right to anonymity when expressing a controversial opinion. Or else we're Nazis. A group not well known for their love of liberty and individualism. Look, it's obvious that you're not trying to take this word back. You're simply wielding it like a political bludgeon out of bittersweet vengeance and spite. And for a wrong that barely anyone left alive had either experienced or enacted. And you better believe it when I say to you, that there are those within the shadows of state power who wish to turn this rising racial tension, fast becoming total social breakdown, into an opportunity to further suppress our constitutional liberties behind the facade of reclaiming law and order. You cannot forever elicit sympathy from those you harbor malice towards, especially from our youngest white generation. They know they do not possess any of the privileges you're always shaming them for, and they are witnessing a society overcompensating for the past by constantly kissing your ass at their future expense while you pretend that legal and cultural concessions were never made in the last 50 fucking years. Now either you find a way to move forward with forgiveness without your crutch of perpetual victimhood, or prepare yourself for that blood-stained pendulum to eventually swing back, as it always does, for as long as you're willing to play the vendetta game, disingenuously disguised as social justice.
Now back to our show.
Kill, 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 kill.
It was not preached to the crowd. It was not taught by the state. No man spoke it aloud that the Saxon began to hate.
Kill, 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 kill.
Okay, for the first time in your overprivileged, spoiled lives, you are about to get your asses spanked. You are the first generation to carry more information in your back pocket than what is actually contained within the Library of Congress. Yet none of you could have been bothered to do a 10-second Google search before attempting to dismantle what took centuries of your forefathers' hard work and sacrifice to build. and for your benefit in the first place. You were just about to prop up a murderous, raping savage on a pedestal, but only because you simply heard he wasn't white nor a capitalist. And I guess that was just good enough for you black fetishizing commie spark monkeys, wasn't it? Every single one of you! You are the most selfish, ungrateful, degenerate, intellectually lazy, nonsensical, hypocritical, hyper-effeminate, non-contributing, mentally disturbed, socially retarded, power-hungry, and outright butt-ugly, flaming androgynous bags of cancerous baby shit whose only redeeming qualities in this world are being biodegradable and reproductive dead ends. You will honestly doom the entire Western world by repeating so many of the same mistakes forewarned to us by our most acclaimed scholars and philosophers from the past 2 millennia, only because you refuse to read those words written by dead, white, Christian men. And if I wasn't afraid of my beloved nation losing its libertarian soul in the process, I would have fully supported the provision of free helicopter rides for you traitor fucks a long time ago.
Professor McKnickers, the N-word constitutes as hate speech here at our university, which is a fireable offense. Come to my office immediately to discuss your possible termination.
Hey, Dickless! Sylvester Double the Fourth is on Landline 2. He says that he will cancel all future funding if you change the university's name.
Oh, he is. Hold on.
Mr. President, do not take this call. Our mission towards a more equal society is above and beyond any monetary value. Mr. President. Mr. President? Hello?
This is the Centralia Police. Disperse now or we will open fire on you.
N-word. 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 N-word.
Everyone keeps saying N-word. What does that mean?
Not noodles.
N-word.
Not nose hairs.
N-word.
Not Nickelback.
It means Nick. Scene A1 plus 2. Scene A3. Scene A4. Scene A5 plus 9.
Craig knows his letters and numbers.
I know! I like the number that looks like the hospital. This one!
Oh, he likes the plus symbol.
That's a number! Scene B8 plus 9! Scene C2! Scene 7 plus 9! Scene D1 plus 4! Scene E6-F1! Scene F2 plus 3!
I got pee.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Scene F5 plus 6! Scene F8! Scene G1! Scene G5 plus 7! Scene E6-F1!
Crying little pansy bitch.
Well, yeah, she heard the N-word.